Well, FreshBaked, earlier this week, we were in the Esplanade at Disneyland, and we saw Christmas decorations up on Buena Vista Street, and we saw Christmas decorations at Town Square in Disneyland. And I guess I don't have to tell you that is quite an interesting development. But even more interesting are the rumors going around since then with regard to Christmas at Disneyland. Rumors that may suggest we have reason to be optimistic that Main Street may be open in time for Christmas this year. We're going to talk about that and more next on FreshBaked. Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to FreshBaked. You know, the number one thing that I had on my personal wish list for the reopening of Buena Vista Street was Christmas decorations in the park for the holiday season. Maybe even a Christmas tree. That would have been extra great. And of course, it looks like we're going to absolutely be getting at least those decorations based on what we saw at DCA this past Tuesday. But what we also noticed were Christmas decorations at Disneyland. And that has sparked quite a debate. What does that mean? We've heard nothing from Disney about reopening Main Street. It's been all Buena Vista Street. So why then put up those decorations? So the way I see it, there are basically three possibilities why Disneyland might choose to do this. First, because they feel like it, because they want to, because it's tradition. We've already seen them or heard of them playing music on Main Street. We've already heard of them raising and lowering the flag every day and every night. So there is something to be said for them just trying to, participate in a little bit of Disney tradition, for the cast members at least, for the people that are working on the inside. Having said that, they didn't do anything for Halloween. We saw nothing like this for Halloween. Now, I'll counter. Christmas and Halloween, not the same thing in terms of how it makes a person feel. There's a different vibe going on with Christmas. So I can see why they would do that for Christmas, but not for Halloween. Okay, so there's that. Second, the decorations might have been put up as part of filming, and they wanted to have the streets of Main Street and Town Square dressed appropriately for whatever it is that they're filming. Now, this is very logical and possibly probable, but it does fail logic a little bit if you take a little deeper look into the potential things that they might be filming. For example, if you're thinking in terms of a parade, know this, that the camera is normally positioned in front of the flagpole at the tip of Town Square, facing Main Street, straight down the barrel and through to the hub. And then it might pivot left or pivot right to capture the parade as it turns right, coming at the camera. If you consider this, there's no chance, no opportunity for the camera to ever see that wreath, that particular wreath and that particular red ribbon that we saw on that light fixture at Town Square. That is completely facing the wrong direction. It is not anywhere within camera's view. Illogical to dress that part, unless you're just trying to do the whole thing, cover all your bases. We talked about that in our Tuesday update. But if we are to assume or presume that it is a parade, know that it is my understanding that all of the filming for this year's holiday special, which is going to be kind of a new breed of holiday specials, it's not going to be traditional like we know it, but all of the filming that was necessary for this year's holiday special was done at Magic Kingdom in Florida. And it makes sense that they would, because that's the park that's open, and that's the park that is already dressed and prepped for this kind of thing. So maybe not a parade. What about an announcement or a commercial? Well, if that were true, then that would just be another sign of things coming back to Disneyland. Why else would you film an announcement or a commercial in Disneyland at Town Square if you weren't looking to open the park? What other announcement could they have? Welcome to Disneyland. Here's the Town Square, dress for Christmas, but you can't come in. I don't think that's logical. So if we're talking about logic, that leaves only the most logical explanation. They're dressing Main Street and Town Square for Christmas because they plan to open Main Street and Town Square for Christmas. And this is where things get interesting if you're to believe the rumors that we've heard recently. You'll recall a while back, we talked about a rumor that cast members have been recalled to DCA, to Buena Vista Street, in order to restock the shelves in the Buena Vista Street shops, Five and Dime, Julius Katz and Sons, Elias and Company, that kind of thing. And this was well before they had made any kind of announcement with regard to them reopening Buena Vista Street. So our assumption at the time, most logically, is there's no reason for them to do that unless they were planning to reopen Buena Vista Street. So we kept our cameras looking to see if there was any kind of indication of that happening. Now this was well before any kind of announcement that they were going to reopen Buena Vista Street. This was when we were in the throes of trying to decide if the state was going to let Disneyland open or not. But the idea that they were going to restock shelves led us to only one conclusion, and that was that they were planning some kind of reopening. And, well, with that, we have heard very similar rumors that Disney has called back cast members to work on restocking shelves at the Emporium on Main Street in Disneyland. And again, it seems only logical that if cast members are being recalled to restock shelves at Emporium, that can mean only one thing. And I have to say, it makes sense. The original announcement for them reopening Buena Vista Street was framed as an extension of downtown Disney. Not that they were going to reopen the park, but they were just extending downtown Disney into those parts of DCA. We even went so far as to presume that this was why Disney was planning to use a side gate, the gate over there by World of Disney, as the entrance into downtown Disney. And many fans were wondering, is there something similar like that over at Disneyland? Can they do the same thing at Disneyland? Except now it appears that is not the entrance to Buena Vista Street or to DCA. And they are going to use the traditional main entrance, except not through the turnstiles, but that side gate off to the far right. Of course, Disneyland has something like this, which makes it that much easier to declare the same kind of opening for Main Street. That is, if the way in were any kind of limitation, which does not appear to be the case. I guess what I'm trying to say is they didn't choose Buena Vista Street first, to open it first, and not choose Main Street because of what's any kind of limitations with regard to extending downtown Disney into Buena Vista Street, i.e. the means of ingress, right? So if they can use that side entrance for the front, at the front of DCA, they could just as easily do the same at Main Street. So if we extend that logic a little further, that line of thinking, if it's just as easy to open Main Street as it is Buena Vista Street, and I now see no reason to think that it would be any easier, then the question is, why was Buena Vista Street first? Why not just lead off with Main Street? Certainly, it's not because they just thought it was a good idea. No, there's probably logic to that. Main Street is where everybody wants to be, so there had to be some logical reason to open Buena Vista Street first. My immediate thought is that Buena Vista Street is some kind of beta test, if you will. A way to work out the kinks of maybe, controlling traffic, controlling crowd levels inside once you open things up. How is it going to affect downtown Disney? How is it going to affect any number of things? There are, a lot of factors they want to see happen in real time before they open up Main Street. You kind of want to get Main Street right first, is what I'm thinking. And it would probably be a test of maybe a couple of weeks, starting from November 19th. So we're looking at maybe a possible early December opening. Now, again, I don't know anything. This is pure conjecture, but I don't think they need to test it for any more than 2 weeks before they can make a decision on how they want to operate in Disneyland. And they would have to do it that quickly, because what's the point of opening Disneyland for Christmas if you're going to do it just a week or two prior? You want a full, a good 3 or 4 weeks at least. And I don't think it'll be long before we know one way or the other what their plans are for Disneyland. In the same way, we could know right away on Buena Vista Street. I had said at the time, if we see Christmas decorations in the windows at Five and Dime, then they have plans for Christmas. They have plans to reopen. Now, we don't have access, or we can't see the windows, I don't think, on Main Street or anywhere else. The camera's not that good. But if we continue to see more decorations put up, if they progress further, then that certainly would be a strong tell. In fact, we kind of know already there is more than what we've seen. This pic was taken the same day we got our coverage, and while it's not the Christmas tree, it's a Christmas tree. And it looks like it's being towed down Main Street. That's the Fortuosity gift shop right in the middle of Main Street, and my assumption is that it's going into the park, not Town Square. Now, I suppose they could be putting that tree where the traditional Main Street goes, but I don't know, that it just doesn't seem likely to me. I think that you want to put a proper tree there if you're going to put anything there at all. Or maybe they could just be opting for this is the plan B. But the weird thing is that I don't recognize this tree. So it would be difficult to really know for sure what this tree means with regard to decorations, because its location would tell us everything. For example, it would be safe to assume that if they do reopen Main Street, it would be from Town Square to the castle and the hub, and then all the land's closed off around it. But where along that route do you put this particular tree? It doesn't seem to fit anywhere, at least when you think conventionally what we're used to seeing on Main Street. I mean, that is, unless they do something unconventional, something that we're not used to, let's say in front of the castle on the bridge or something like that, or maybe in one of the openings or the entrances to one of the lands. And this is where it gets really twisty. If it's not for Main Street and it's going somewhere else outside of that, what does that mean? If this thing doesn't land in Main Street somewhere, where is it going? And that's the question that I would like you guys to help us answer. Tell us in the comments below, where do you think that tree is going? And then tell us what you think these decorations mean in general when you consider the observations that I've made in this video today. Has your opinion changed at all since Tuesday, considering what you've heard? I personally feel like it's maybe like an 80-20 likelihood that Main Street opens, and I'm hedging that 20% simply because rumors are rumors until they're not. So until we hear something official, it's still just a rumor. Anything and everything is likely subject to change. But it sure does seem like, cause for optimism, and it would be a total Christmas miracle if we were to get something like that in time for the 2020 Christmas season. In the meantime, we'll keep our ears open and our cameras trained inside the gates to see what we can see, if anything, and let you guys know as soon as we find out. And with that, until next time, guys, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and to hit that notification bell so that you're reminded when new videos come out. Otherwise, you can follow us on Instagram at _FreshBaked or on Twitter at FreshBakedDizzy. That's fresh with no E. And if you enjoyed the show and you want to help support our channel, please consider joining our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/freshbaked. There are links below in the description and on our main channel page for everything. So thanks again for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time. Stay kind, be safe, and fresh baked.